Have you ever texted a woman and then stared at your phone for hours, maybe even days, only to get a short, one-word answer? Or worse, total silence. You wait. You worry. You start wondering if you said something wrong. And then, you feel like you need to text again, just to break the silence. Just to feel like someone noticed you. If that sounds like you, you are not alone. This is what many men go through. They try to connect. They try to show they care. They try hard. But instead of bringing a woman closer, they feel her moving away. The harder they try, the further away she seems. And this is where most men make a mistake. Because it's not just about what you say. It's about how you say it. It's about how your words make her feel. Most men don't know this. They send texts that are nice, polite, even kind. But they don't create any feelings. They don't make her curious, excited, or happy. And without feelings, your words just get lost. This isn't about being clever. It's about being aware. It's about being present. And this is where Stoic wisdom helps you the most. Stoics focus only on what they can control. You can't control how she answers. You can't control how fast she replies or what mood she's in when she reads your message. But you can control how you show up. You can control what you mean to say. You can control the feeling behind your words. Texting isn't just talking. It's showing who you are. It's having an effect on others. It's being a leader in your dating life. In this video, we're going to learn 3 powerful texting secrets that women can't resist. These aren't silly tricks. These are ideas based on how brains work, how feelings work, and how Stoic thinking works. When you use them, you'll stop chasing attention. You'll start getting respect and making real connections. So the question is, how do you change things and take control of the conversation? Let's start with the first secret. 1. Texts that make women curious. Curiosity is one of the strongest forces in how our brains work. When something makes you curious, your brain locks onto it. It starts looking for answers. It needs to know more. That feeling of needing to know more is why people finish books, watch whole TV shows without stopping, and click on headlines that promise something surprising. It's also the reason why some texts get quick answers while others are left unread. Most men don't understand this. They text in ways that kill curiosity right away. They say things like, "How was your day?" "What are you doing?" Or "Hope you're having a nice weekend." These messages are nice, but they don't open any loop in her brain. They're easy to ignore because they don't make her want to answer. Now think about this. What happens when you get a message like, "I just noticed something amazing about you," or "You won't believe what happened," or even "You were in my dream last night doing something unexpected"? Her brain immediately reacts. She wants to know more. She feels like there's something missing. And that missing piece is what makes her want to answer. This is where most men go wrong. They give away too much too fast. They try too hard to sound nice, but they forget that mystery makes women move. The more you leave unsaid, the more she wants to know. Stoic wisdom teaches us something just like this. If it's not needed, don't say it. That means you don't need to explain everything. You don't need to fill the quiet. You don't need to prove how great you are with lots of words. You just need to speak with a clear purpose. And when it comes to texting, the less you say, the more power your words can have. The key is to write texts that make a question pop up in her mind, not texts that explain everything. Instead of saying, "I had a weird day," try saying, "Something made me think of you today in the strangest way." Want to guess what it was? Now she's involved. Now she's thinking. Now she cares. And when she replies with a question, don't answer right away. Keep her leaning forward. Keep her wondering. If she asks what happened, you can say, "It's kind of strange, but let me ask you this first. Have you ever felt like someone was thinking about you right before something unexpected happened?" Now she's feeling connected. She's not just answering. She's sharing. She's sharing. That's how you build attraction, through curiosity. Most men rush the conversation. They try to impress too quickly. They try to keep her attention by texting more. But texting more is not the answer. Texting with a purpose is. You want to be the man who makes her stop and think. The man who breaks her normal day. The man who makes her feel something she doesn't feel with other men. Every time you send a message, ask yourself this. Does this make her curious? Does this create a question in her mind? Or is it just another message that will fade away? Curiosity isn't about tricking someone. It's about creating an opening for feelings. It's about leaving space for interest to grow. It's about understanding how the mind works and using that knowledge to build real connections. If you use this, your conversations will change. You'll notice more back and forth, more questions, and more care. And that's the goal. You're not trying to entertain her. You're trying to connect. Curiosity is the door. Walk through it with confidence. 2. Texts that create excitement. Curiosity gets her attention. Excitement makes her stay. When a woman gets excited about something, her brain releases a happy chemical that makes her feel good and want more. That's why people look forward to dates, surprises, and special moments. It's not just about what happens. It's about the feeling of waiting for something good. Most men ruin excitement without even knowing it. They tell too much too fast. They send texts like, "I planned a fun date for us," or "I got you something today." While these messages are kind, they leave nothing for the imagination. There's no build-up, no feeling of waiting, no brain engagement. She reads it, smiles a little, and never thinks about it again. But what if you learned to build that feeling of waiting for something good? What if you made her feel excited every time your name showed up on her phone? This is where Stoic wisdom helps again. Stoics taught that we should wait for good things, that the greatest strength is in holding back a little. That works for texting, too. When you hold back just a bit, when you create room for her imagination, you wake up her interest. You let her mind work with you. Let's see how to use this. Instead of texting, "I got you something today," say, "I saw something that made me think of you. Want to guess what it was?" Now she's not just getting information. She's part of what's happening. She's involved. She has a reason to think about you even when she's not answering. If you want to build excitement, talk with direction, but never tell everything. Instead of "I have something to tell you," say, "If I told you what I just realized about you, you wouldn't believe me. Want to hear it?" That kind of message makes her mind race. It makes her wonder. It makes her wait for the answer. The most important part of building excitement is this. You don't give everything away, even when she asks. You tease. You lead. You keep control of how fast things go. If she says, "Tell me," you say, "I could, but that's no fun. Take a wild guess first." This makes talking fun, moving, and easy to remember. Men who know this understand a deep truth. Women remember how you make them feel. If your texts make her feel normal comfort, she might like you, but she won't chase you. If your texts make her feel excitement, waiting, and curiosity, she will start to want to talk to you. That's the difference between someone who gets answers and someone who gets ignored. It's not just about words. It's about timing, how you say it, and the feelings you create. You want her to check her phone. You want her wondering what you'll say next. You want her to care before you even share the whole story. Stoics understood human feelings. They never said to ignore them. They said to control them, guide them, shape them with wisdom. That's what you're doing here. You're guiding her feelings with purpose. You're shaping how she feels through your presence. Think of it this way. You're not just texting. You're telling a story. And every good story has a beginning, a pause, and an ending. If you jump straight to the end, there's no thrill. But if you create space, wait a bit before the best part, and let her imagination run wild, you create a feeling of being pulled toward you without you chasing her. This isn't being sneaky. This is being aware. You're learning how to talk like a man who understands how brains and feelings work. Like a man who knows his value. Like a man who doesn't need to impress quickly because he knows the power of patience. If you use this, you'll feel the change. Your words will have weight. Your presence will create an impact. And she won't just answer. She'll look forward to your next message. 3. Compliments that work. Most men think that complimenting a woman will instantly make her like you. But that's not how attraction works. Compliments are powerful, but only when they come from the heart, with awareness, and with truth. Most compliments fail because they're too shallow, too common, or too desperate. Telling a woman she's beautiful might sound nice. But if she hears it all the time, it loses meaning. It becomes noise. It becomes another line in a long list of forgettable messages. When you say you're so gorgeous or you're the most beautiful woman ever, it doesn't touch her deeply. It feels like something anyone could say. It feels lazy. And worst of all, it makes you sound like every other man. Now let's think differently. Let's think like a Stoic. Stoics taught that we should praise not what is common, but what is special. And what's special in a woman is not how she looks. It's how she thinks, how she acts, how she makes people feel. When you compliment something deeper than her looks, you separate yourself from every man who only sees the surface. Here's how to do it. Focus on her character. Focus on the way she thinks, the way she acts, the way she makes people feel. Tell her, I like how you see the world. Most people don't think the way you do, or say something like, you make people feel calm when they're around you. It's rare to find someone who helps others feel good without even trying. These compliments land differently. They speak to who she is, not just what she looks like. And that makes her feel seen in a way that very few men make her feel. Timing matters too. Don't throw compliments randomly. Wait until she shares something meaningful. If she talks about her goals, say, I respect how you keep trying. A lot of people talk about what they want to do, but you do it. If she shares something private, say, I like how open you are. Most people hide that side of themselves. These compliments aren't just nice, they show you're paying attention. And that's what builds attraction. Stoicism reminds us to watch before we judge. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the quality of your thoughts decides the quality of your life. Use that in how you talk. The quality of your words shows the quality of your attention. When you pay attention to what makes her special and speak from that awareness, you connect in a way that simple compliments never can. There's one more reason this works. When you compliment her mind, her energy, or how she behaves, you also show your own values. You show that you're not just looking for beauty. You like depth. You value awareness. You admire effort. You're drawn to what lasts, not what fades away. That makes you rare. And women notice that. They remember the man who sees them for who they are, not just for how they look. They remember the man whose words made them feel valuable for something deeper. This doesn't mean you should never compliment her looks. It means that when you do, it should be specific and real. Not that you're beautiful, but there's something about your smile that feels calm. Or the way you walk into a room shows confidence without being show-off. Every compliment is a chance to build a connection or break it. Most men use compliments to get approval. But the Stoic man uses compliments to show understanding. He's not trying to get something. He's offering recognition. Remember this. Don't try to impress. Compliment to express. Express what you see. Express what you admire. Express what matters. And you'll find that your words begin to have weight. She won't just thank you. She'll start to look at you differently. When you combine all three ideas, you stop being someone who texts for attention. You become someone who talks with presence, impact, and clarity. Conclusion: the Stoic mindset change. Now that you understand how to create curiosity, build excitement, and give compliments that matter, it's time to put everything together. Because at the heart of all this is not just texting. It's how you act. It's how you think. It's how you choose to connect with women. And that mindset is what makes you different. The truth is, texting isn't about being clever. It's not about saying the perfect thing to win someone over. It's about creating feelings. It's about understanding how attraction works. When you text, you're doing one of three things. You're either creating curiosity, building excitement, or making her feel seen and valued. If your messages don't do any of those, they're easy to ignore, easy to forget. Stoic wisdom teaches us that everything we do should be done with purpose. Seneca said we worry more in our minds than in real life. That means the worry you feel after being ignored is often caused by your thoughts, not the message itself. But when you learn to talk with purpose, that worry goes away. You stop overthinking. You start acting from clarity. Let's review what you've learned. First, create curiosity. Don't give all the details. Leave gaps. Ask questions that create hooks for feelings. Let her mind stay active. Let her lean in. Second, build excitement. Don't rush to tell everything. Create open loops. Make her feel the tension of not knowing. That's what builds interest. Third, give real compliments. Not about looks, but about how she thinks, who she is, and the energy she brings. Compliment what makes her unique. Show her that you notice what others miss. That's what builds deep attraction. These aren't tricks. These are principles. They work because they show a deeper truth. Those women don't want more words. They want more presence. They want to feel something when they read your message. They want to be surprised, challenged, seen, and understood. And you can do that. Not by trying harder, but by thinking clearly. By texting with presence. By acting from a place of calm confidence, not desperate need for approval. You're not here to chase women. You're here to connect with purpose. You're here to practice awareness. You're here to talk like a man who respects himself enough to be honest, careful, and strong in every conversation. From now on, every message you send should do one of three things. Make her curious. Make her excited. Make her feel special. That's the new standard. That's the Stoic approach to texting. Because the man who texts with clarity doesn't worry about being ignored. He doesn't count the minutes after sending a message. He doesn't start doubting himself. He knows who he is. He knows what he offers. And if she doesn't answer, he doesn't chase. He thinks about it. He adjusts. He moves forward. That's the power of a Stoic mindset. It gives you peace where others feel panic. It gives you control where others feel chaos. And it gives you presence in a world full of noise. Texting isn't a game. It's a skill. And when done well, it can build trust, attraction, and real connection. But only if you approach it with awareness, with discipline, with self-respect. Start practicing today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for someone else to change. You're the one in control. You're the one who gets to choose how you show up. And if you do this right, you'll never feel ignored again. You won't need to, because now you're not just sending messages. You're creating impact. Closing remarks. What you just learned isn't just about texting women. It's about how you show up in your life. It's a mirror of your mindset, your values, and the way you choose to act in every interaction. Because talking isn't just about words. It's about presence. And presence comes from inside you. Too many men react without thinking. They send a text and wait. They worry too much about the delay. They start questioning their worth based on whether or not they get an answer. But that's not a strength. That's not clarity. And that's not how a Stoic man acts. From now on, you don't text to impress. You text to express, to lead, to be yourself. You don't throw words out hoping for approval. You choose your words carefully, on purpose, knowing how they show who you are. This is what it means to apply Stoicism in today's world. It's not about hiding feelings. It's about owning them, guiding them, making room for them without letting them control you. Marcus Aurelius didn't teach us to hide from life. He taught us to join in life from a deeper place. He said, "Don't waste time talking about being a good man. Be one." That works here, too. With every message you send, you're either showing your values or forgetting them. You're either leading the conversation or just reacting to it. You're either building a connection or begging for attention. There's no middle ground. So here's your challenge. Before you send your next message to a woman, pause. Ask yourself, does this show the man I want to be? Does this message have a purpose? Does it create curiosity, build excitement, or make her feel truly seen? If it doesn't, write it again. Refocus. Speak from clarity, not from neediness. Set a new standard. Because you're not here to play small. You're not here to be just okay. You're here to live by your values. You're here to show up with quiet strength, not loud insecurity. And when you do, something changes. The feeling of your conversations shifts. Women respond differently. They feel your presence before they even read your words. And that's not a trick. That's the truth. That's power. Stop chasing reactions. Start earning respect. Not through force, but through presence. Through purpose. Thoreau is the kind of man who doesn't need to convince anyone, because his energy speaks for itself. So if this message reached you, don't just nod and move on. Take action. Use one of the ideas you learned today. Watch the change. Then use another. Make this your new habit. Every message. Every conversation. Every day. Live it. Practice it. Own it. And from now on, every word you send has power. Every message becomes a mirror of the man you're choosing to be.